That those of you who are football fans recognize the name Ernie Davis, who was the first African American to be awarded the Heisman Trophy in 1961. He was a number 1 draft choice in the NFL, but died suddenly of leukemia in 1963. Other familiar NFL stars are Floyd Little, Jim Brown, and Jim Nance. All of these men went on to have exceptional careers in the NFL. Football aficionados, do you know these names? Dana Harrell, Gregory Allen, Alif Muhammad, aka Al Newton Jr., John Lobon, Ronald Womack, Clarence Bucky McGill, Richard Bulls, John Godbolt, and Dwayne Walker. What do all of these men have in common? They all attended Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York, with the desire to play collegiate football at one of the beacon universities, known for producing amazing athletes and hopefully go on to NFL careers as well as receiving an excellent education. This is where the similarities end. The Syracuse 8, erroneously called this by the media, actually had 9 black athletes, but one was on a medical leave because of a medical problem that Coach Ben Schwartzwalder knew about but chose to enforce because he didn't like the fact that he took a stand with the other 8. This group of young athletes made the decision to boycott Syracuse University's football program in order to demand change and promote racial equality in 1969. The decision was made after Floyd Little, who was with the Denver Broncos at the time, in trying to boost morale at the school, commented that several of the Syracuse players were draftable if they were to exert more effort and weren't so bitter. He also said that he had never known the coaches to mistreat anyone. The Syracuse 8 believed that there wasn't unfair treatment and discrimination, even though they contributed significantly to the team. They decided to boycott spring practice in 1969. They presented a list of demands that they felt would make things better for all of the student athletes at the university, not just the black ones. The first demand was that all students have equal access to tutors and academic advisors. Black athletes were led to take basic reading, writing, and PE classes, while the white teammates were taking courses to fulfill their major requirements. The second demand was for better medical treatment from a team doctor knowledgeable about athletic medicine who was not a practicing gynecologist hesitant to touch black bodies. His remedy for most injuries was ice and rest. Thirdly, they wanted Schwartzwalder to disregard the quota system of how many blacks travel with the team and how many blacks are on the field at one time. Lastly, the 8 were demanding that they hire a diverse coaching staff. Since 1893, Syracuse did not have a coach of color. Because of the discriminatory behavior of the head coach and assistants, the 8 felt that they were not able to play to their potential and felt as if they did not belong. Hiring a black coach would alleviate some of these problems. When their list of demands was ignored by Schwartzwalder, the boycott continued into the 1970 season. A 10-week study was done, at which time the committee concluded that racism in the Syracuse University Athletic Department is real and chronic, largely unintentional, and sustained and complicated unwittingly by many modes of behavior common in American athletics and long-standing at Syracuse University. During the 2006 football season, the Syracuse 8 were awarded the Chancellor's Medal, the university's highest honor, and their Letterman jackets. The university also formally apologized to the 9 and commended them for their courage and willingness to speak up when faced with injustice. In 2022, a mural was commissioned in the Carrier Dome, the sports complex at SU, highlighting their journey. Although none of these courageous men ever made it to the NFL because they were blackballed, most of them went on to amazing careers. My nephew, James Carter, is a 1996 graduate of Syracuse, where he received 2 degrees, one in journalism and one in African American studies. He said he was the editor of the Black Voice, which is a student publication at SU. At that time, the athletes were constantly being criticized for not supporting any of the efforts black students were pushing the university to do to help improve things for all of them, This was in the late 90s. In his book, The Heritage, Howard Bryant says that the duty for today's athletes is to continue to use the platform they have that so many athletes of color before them had to fight for, to continue meaningful work in the community, uplift Black citizens, and be role models for those who come after them. It was true then, and it is true now.